Today the paper, not an easy paper. The first 5 questions based on common sense, not based on grammar knowledge. And after that, what do you have? Errors, not easy. You have to spot 2 errors, then you have to select 2 parts without errors. That takes a lot of time. So here analysis, 5 sentences, easy but time taking, first 5. After that 5 errors, difficult, time taking. Then close, it is difficult. And it's a new pattern. What is the pattern? You see the blank, you see the word, you have to decide it is right or wrong. Then if it is not right, you have to select one of the 4 options. It takes a lot of time and the context is not a familiar context, not that easy. And passage, I don't think you can understand within the stipulated time period. It is philosophical, it is very confusing and not at all easy. But you should get vocabulary, how many questions? 5 questions, even those words are not easy words. Only 2 you may get, not all the 5. Overall, this paper, if you get in between 14 and 18, you should be extremely happy. You cross 14, be very happy. Cross 18, celebrate. Okay? Now we'll see how to answer these questions. But today we have a problem. Again, I have a bad throat. On and off, I may go a little uncomfortable. So be prepared for that. Whatever it is, you have to start with sentence completion. The first 5 questions, easy. Though time taking, you have to read all the options. You can get all the 5 correct. Errors, moderate and time taking. I don't say easy, I don't say very difficult, moderate. Passage, moderate, standard, but the context is very difficult to comprehend, especially youngsters. It is more philosophical, so it doesn't go with your mindset, your wavelength. And the close test, difficult and time taking. The context is international context, multilateralism related to different countries and Trump, all that, not easy within the time period. Now we'll see the first 5 questions. Shall I? There was no other means of coming to. Shall I read the instructions or you have read already? In each of the following questions, a statement and 5 choices are given. Select from among the choices the most logical complement. Underline the word complement. What is the spelling here? Please underline the letter E. Complement, this word means what? Complete. But if you see the letter I, then what does it mean? Praise someone. She gave a compliment, he gave a compliment. It goes with praise. It also goes with a gift. I got it as a compliment, a gift. Here, complete. So what are these questions related to? Sentence completion. What are they related to? Sentence completion. And mark its number as your answer. So I'll read out the first sentence. There was no other means of coming to power than an alliance with like-minded parties. No other means. That means there must have been some means, one particular, or no means at all. Then you have to decide what is the context here, then what are the options, which is the most relevant. But many of these options based on opposition. Practically, it is not possible. Why will a party join hands with the opposition? That is common sense. I'll read out the first option. We will revamp the party by taking the support of the opposition. Revamp the party is acceptable, but by taking the support of the opposition, is that right? So mark it wrong. We try to please the leaders of other parties. That is also not correct. Why should you please other leaders of other parties? Underline the word please. That is not correct. We declared that we are going to rise to power. That is also not relevant. Here they want to do what? Coming to power, then you cannot simply declare. That is not acceptable. We enlisted the support of the opposition. You will not enlist the support of the opposition. The word opposition doesn't go with this context. Now what is the fifth option? So we convened an urgent meeting of our workers. So party wants to do something. The first step, what do? They convene a meeting. They invite all the party workers, the party office bearers. They discuss in the meeting. So which option seems right? The answer is the fifth option. So we convened an urgent meeting of our workers. Convene. Write the meaning of that word. Today, I think you have to write about 50 words, 50. So many words are there. But first you write the meaning of the word convene. Convene means what? To gather, to collect. Write 3 words: to gather, to collect, to arrange. Convene a meeting, organize a meeting. Gather the delegates and organize a meeting. But here, revamp. Underline the word first option, revamp. What is the meaning of the word revamp? Please write the meaning. Give new and improved form, structure, or appearance to something. And my request to all of you, I am going to do it very fast. You have to write very fast. 50 effective words from this mock test paper. It takes a lot of time. You got to be focused and write quickly. Give new and improved form, structure, or appearance to something. Revamp the organization. Revamp the structure of something. Now write the synonyms. The first one is what? Refurbish. All these are synonyms. Words in yellow color. Renovate. Refurbish, renovate, overhaul, upgrade. Reconstruct. Reconstruct. So all these are, how many words are there? 5 words. All the 5 words are synonyms. And the meaning already I have written. Shall I move on to the next one? This is also purely based on common sense. What is a given sentence? Facilities in the village hospital are insufficient and outdated. Please underline the word outdated. What is a synonym for outdated? Expired. Any other word? Obsolete. Please write the word obsolete. O-B-S-O-L-E-T-E. Write the word obsolete. Also write the word redundant. Subtle differences are there, but still no longer in use, redundant, outdated, obsolete, more or less synonyms. So facilities in the village hospital are insufficient and outdated. That is the context. So we are going to take the patient back home. Does it serve the purpose? Will the patient become a better person? No. We will take our patient home and complain to the authorities. That is also not the solution. We will immediately take the patient to a better hospital. This is a wise thing to do. Hold that one. We will wait silently until the hospital gets improved. The patient will die in the meantime. We will demand for a better hospital in the village. The patient is gone in the meantime. So what is the answer here? Third option is the answer. Purely based on common sense. Question number 3. Now let me see any words. Question number 3. The decision to reopen the old and closed down liquor shops, was resented by the people in the city. Please underline the word resented. Now, what do you understand from the context? The decision to reopen the old and closed down liquor shops was resented by the people in the city. Oppose. So you don't have to look further. You have to guess and get the meaning. Oppose. But hold that one. The context is what? The government wanted to reopen the liquor shops. Obviously, the public, they wanted to oppose that. Now, based on that, you have to select the second sentence. What is the first option here? Some people took out protest march to the minister's house. Minister is not relevant in this context, so mark it wrong. The liquor sellers and contractors supported the government decision. That has nothing to do with the public, their resentment, not related. Keep it aside. The ruling party secretly convened a meeting of the most important leaders. That has nothing to do with reopening the liquor shops. Please underline the word convene. You can write the meanings later, just underline. And what is the fourth option? The government succumbed. underline the word succumbed, to public opinion and withdrew the decision to open the liquor shops. Now, there was a protest. The government has to respond. There are two ways of responding. One, they can be authoritative. They can behave like a dictator. They can go ahead with the decision, and they will open the liquor shops. The other option, the other possibility, they accept the public, they consider the public demand, and they succumb. Succumb here means yield. They yield to the demand, and they will withdraw. They will drop the idea of opening the liquor shops. So what does the fourth option talk about? The government succumbed, means yielded, don't write, I'll show the meanings, to public opinion and withdrew the decision to open the liquor shops. So protest, the government had to change the decision. This seems right or wrong? It seems right, hold that one. What is the fifth option? The liquor barons, underline the word barons. The liquor barons will not allow the closure of the liquor shops. This is not relevant because the first sentence talks about the focus is on the public and their protest. Nothing to do with opposition, nothing to do with leaders, nothing to do with those in the field of business, liquor barons. Now, what is the answer here? The fourth option is the answer. First, you make a note. The fourth option is the answer. Now, write the meanings of these words quickly. First, you write the meaning of convene. Convene means what? Come or bring together for a meeting or activity. Assemble, also gather. Come or bring together for a meeting or activity. Another meaning of that, assemble. This is an important word, the second one, please put a star mark. Be silent, succumb. It has got two different meanings. General meaning, fail to resist pressure. That means what? Write the word yield. It means what? Yield. You fail to resist. The second one, if someone meets with an accident and gets a lot of injuries, a major accident, initially they fight. After some time, they pass away. They die. Then if you read the newspapers, what do they say? They succumb to the injuries. What is the combination word? To the injuries means what? They could not withstand that pressure. They could not fight the injuries and they passed away. So it goes with injuries. Please write the combination. Succumb to the injuries. Injuries. But here the context is entirely different. Nothing to do with the accident, nothing to do with injuries. Have you written? Third one, what is it? Baron. Baron means an important or powerful person in a specified business or industry. General combinations: media baron, liquor baron. But generally it goes with media baron. If you take Ramoji Rao, he is generally people refer as what? Media baron. So important person in the field of media. In the past, they would refer to Vijay Mallya, liquor baron. Now, what is the word for him? It starts with the letter F. Fugitive. What is the word? Fugitive means what? A person who is running away from the law, who is on the run, who has escaped, and people are searching for him. They are trying to nab him or catch him. Okay. Have you written all the words? My request, when I ask a question, please respond. Because today, a lot of words are there, very important words. If you don't respond, I may change. Then what will happen? You may not get certain words. After spending so much time, you don't write the words. It's a futile effort. Futile means what? Waste. Why to waste the effort? Already so much effort has gone into it. So be attentive. Whatever question I ask, respond. So shall I change? You say, yes, I will change. Yes, fine. Now what is the question number? Question number 4. This is also pure common sense. Electric supply failed and the fans in the office stood still. What is the context? Power cut, fans stood still. They stopped working. Children playing outside did not feel any heat. Are they related? No. It was a hot season and there was no wind. Are they related? No. The staff had a lot of work to finish to some extent, but not directly related. What is the fourth option? Urgent arrangement was made to start a standby generator. Obviously, there is a power cut. What do? If there is a generator, we on the generator. If there is no generator, we try to provide a generator. We try to get a generator. During the summer season, electric supply is very erratic. Underline the word erratic. But what is the answer based on common sense? Fourth option is the answer. As simple as that. Now write the meaning of the word erratic. Not even or regular in pattern or movement. Unpredictable. Erratic means what? Unpredictable. Not even or regular in pattern or movement. How many questions have we done so far? 4. I wanted to ask a question, but I felt too early to ask the question. So have you finished? Fine. Question number 5. Many chief ministers expressed their opinion in favor of abolishing the governor's post. Please underline the word abolish. Abolishing. Abolish means what? Stop. Prohibit. Stop. The central government is made up of several parties. Are they related? Abolishing the post of the governor's post and the first option not related. The government's existence depends upon the chief ministers. Are they related? No. There may be a decision very soon. So, expressed their opinion. Based on that, there may be a decision very soon. Hold this one. There are no governors in some of the states. Are they related? No. The government is thinking of building a new Raj Bhavan. Not related. So, what is the answer here? Third option. This is also pure common sense. How many of you have got all the 5 correct? 4 correct? Oh. Whatever it is, you have got about 10 words so far. I am going to show how many words you have been getting. Shall I move on to the next set of questions? What are these questions about? You see 4 parts or 5 parts? 4 parts. 2 parts with errors, 2 parts without errors. Your job is what? Select the pair with or without. Without errors, the correct parts. So you got to read very carefully, listen very carefully. I will read out question number 6. Sometimes we think we are only the people with problems. But if you are good at everyday English, you know there is an error here. I will give the choice. We think we are the only people or we are only the people. We are the only people. So please change the position of. Sometimes we think we are the only people with problems. So there is an error here. We are the only people. That is a correct expression. Our problems override other considerations. We can't think beyond our own vexations. Underline the word vexations. Means disturbances, frustration. I'll show the meanings later. When we see a small dampness, underline the word dampness. Listen, damp means a little wet. Not completely wet, a little wet. Usually it goes with walls. Damp walls, a little wet during rainy season. When we see a small dampness on our wall, we scurry. Scurry, underline the word. Means to take quick steps while moving from one place to another place, to walk in a hurry. No, I'll show the meanings. Try to listen to the concept. To get them repaired and corrected. What I expect from you, when I read the parts, if you feel there is an error, you have to stop me. If there is no error, you can listen. Now, third part, you want to stop me or you don't want to stop me? You don't want to stop. I'll read the fourth part. But we don't think of people whose homes have been washed away by the rage of the rain gods. Underline the word rage. Rage means violence or anger. No, don't write, I'll show. Now here, there is an error, already have got the first part. There is a second error in the third part. Who says third part? That's right. Please make a note. Please underline the word dampness. Dampness is singular or plural? Singular. Dampness is singular. When we see a small dampness on our wall, we scurry to get them or it. So where is the second error? That means what? A is not correct. C is not correct. B and D, which option says that? Answer is the second option. Hope you are listening attentively. These are not that easy. You got to be very good at. You have to be a fast reader. You have to understand the context based on your exposure to the language and various contexts. And you have to be very good at English grammar. Only then you can get this part has an error, this part has an error. Otherwise, very difficult. Now write the meanings of these words quickly. First, you write the meaning of vexation. Vexation means what? The state of being annoyed, frustrated, or worried. The state of being annoyed, frustrated, or worried. Then write the meaning of the word dampness. We use that usually, a rainy season, dampness. The state or condition of being slightly wet, not a lot, slightly wet. Have you written the meaning of dampness? Scurry. It goes with a person or small animal. Move hurriedly with short, quick steps. What do you want? There is no, it is a noun, it's a condition. There is no plural form. It is a condition, dampness. Then we don't have the plural form. It's a state of being, like a situation. If you take slavery, slavery is a situation. So you cannot talk in terms of plural form. Dampness, a situation, a condition. We don't talk in terms of the plural form. Have you copied? The last word, what is it? A rage. A rage means what? Violent, uncontrollable anger. When you see continuously 5 tough papers, what will happen? Rage. Written. Shall I change? Okay. So what is the question number now? 7. This is also a little difficult. The context is not a familiar context. Chen Xiaoping repeated again on Twitter something her fiancé said. Do you want to stop me or you don't want to stop me? So it is an easy one. Please underline the word repeated. After the word repeat, can you use the word again? So there is an error. Please repeat again. It is redundancy. Please repeat. It means what? Say again. You cannot use repeat and again. That is redundancy. Make a note. Redundancy. So repeated on Twitter something her fiancé said about anti-Japan protests getting violent, and added, charge angry youth. Second part, I don't think there is any error. Third part, for this she was sentenced 1 year in a labor camp. But underline the word sentenced. It takes a preposition for. Sentenced for 1 year. That means what? There is an error here. Please write the word for after sentenced. Sentenced for 1 year in a labor camp. Twitter is banned in China, but it's easy to use blocked sites with simple internet tricks. Do you find an error? So what is the error? Here, they should have used it apostrophe S. It is a short form of what? It doesn't talk about the possessiveness. It is a short form of it is. What is the actual sentence? Twitter is banned in China, but it is easy It is easy, the short form it is. What is the short form? It apostrophe yes. So how many errors are there? Which one is correct? Only B. Which option says that? Answer is the second option. Question number 8. This context is again geography, not easy to make out. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Underline the word garbage. Have I missed any words? Previous one. Please. No. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is gyre, underline the word gyre, of marine litter, underline the word litter, in the central North Pacific Ocean. Now generally you say the South Central or Central South. What do you say? South Central Railways or Central South Railways? So where is the error here? North Central Pacific Ocean. That is one error. One more error, they should have used the indefinite article before gyre. Is a gyre of marine litter in the North Central Pacific Ocean. The patch extends over a very wide area with estimates ranging from area. Does it sound grammatically correct? No, there is an error here also. Shall I continue? No, I'm asking that girl. Shall I? Thank you very much. Shall I? Yes, sir. Right. The patch extends over a very wide area with estimates ranging from area. That is not correct. With estimates ranging from that of, please add that of, the size of the state of Texas to one, will you say larger as or as large as? Please correct that also. As large as. However, the exact size is unknown. So how many parts have errors? Which one doesn't have an error? So what is the answer? Fourth option, D only. Please write the meanings of these words. First you write the meaning of garbage. Garbage means what? A rubbish or waste, especially domestic refuse. Domestic waste, garbage. Gyre, whirl or gyrate. Whirl means to go round and round. Please write two expressions. First you write whirlpool. Then you write whirlwind. When the wind goes round and round, or water goes round and round, what is the expression? Whirlpool or whirlwind. Gyre means the same, whirl or gyrate, to go round and round. Litter. Litter has got two different meanings. One meaning rubbish such as paper, cans and bottles left lying in an open or public place. You all know the word litter. You see a lot of papers here on the floor. What do you say? Litter. Another meaning of litter, imagine a dog gives birth to 5 puppies or 6 puppies. All the puppies together, we use the word litter. Litter means what? The puppies of a dog. All the puppies of a dog. Litter. Have you copied? Shall I change? What is the question number? 9. At media agency Mindshares Mumbai office. Any error? No. Sit or sits a team. Sits a team. Here underline the word team. Team is singular or plural? Then will you say sit or sits? So please add the letter S. Sits a team of 93 individuals. Whose only? Here who is or whose? So what is the spelling? Whose. So there is an error there also. Who apostrophe S is not correct. Whose. Whose only focus is the consumer giant Hindustan Unilever. In fact, This unit occupies an area the size of most mid-sized agencies in this country. What is the spelling of agencies here? Do we have to use a possessive form or we have to use a plural form? So what is the spelling? A-G-E-N-C-I-E-S. Agencies. So which part doesn't have an error? B, there is an error. C, there is an error. D, there is an error. A is perfect. So what is the answer? First option is the answer. At media agency Mindshares Mumbai office, there is no error. Shall I read out the last one? One of the classroom exercise. I expect the response from your side. Will you say one of the exercise or one of the exercises? So please correct it. One of the classroom exercises I conduct with my persuasive communication students. Please underline the word persuasive. Persuade means what? Convince, convince, persuade, convince someone to do something. You all know the word persuade. What is the opposite? A related word, dissuade. What is the difference between persuade and dissuade? Persuade means to convince someone to do something, usually positive. Dissuade, to convince someone not to do something. Not to do something. Then we use the word dissuade. Now, first part, there is an error. At IIMA is taken from Kurukshetra war. Any error? Whenever you use the word war, you have to use a definite article, the. There is an error here. The Kurukshetra war, the First World War. This rule goes with articles. Articles, you have to use a definite article, the, before wars. The Battle of Panipat, the First World War, the Second World War, the Kurukshetra war, the has to be there. So first part, there is an error. Second part also, there is an error. Third part, I ask a student to be Kunti, other to be Karna. Will you say other or the other? One, the other. So what is missing here? Add the word. I ask one student to be this, the other to be something else. Kunti has to persuade Karna to leave Duryodhana and join the Pandavas. Any error? I hope you guys are attentive. Yes, sir. That you say so well. I am really, it's impressive. Quite impressive. Are you listening? Yes, sir. Immediately you say, but when I ask the questions, you don't respond. So, here you may get the doubt. Please underline the expression, join the Pandavas. First time when I read this, I got a doubt, frankly speaking. I had to cross-check. I thought the Pandavas not correct. When I cross-checked, I found out the Pandavas, the expression is absolutely right. Absolutely right. So what does it mean? What is the answer? Fourth part, only D. Which option says that? Fourth option is the answer. That is a bit difficult to make out. Immediate reaction, first reaction when you see the Pandavas, you may think there is a problem there. There is no problem, there is no error. Now the million-dollar question, who has got all the 5 correct? Anyone? That person will get a big round of applause. No, there is no one. I said that person will get. You are all so conditioned. That is. Anyone? Okay. 4 correct. Please stand up. Give her a big hand. At least 4. That is. No, they want to see who got 4 correct. Please. It's okay. No problem. Now we'll go to the next 10 questions. What do they deal with? See, once a student asked me last year, sir, why don't you do this way to make the classes more interesting and the session more lively? You call one of the students and ask the student, now tell me what have you understood from the passage and how many questions could you answer? How many do you think are correct? I said, what are you talking? Is it possible? No. But if you make it possible, nothing like that. Nothing like that. And if I ask one of the students, come over here, Please read the first question and tell me what do you think, where do you think the error is. Then the student says, then I tell whether it is right or wrong. Then definitely it will be very interesting, lively, but for some people, a lot of tension. Am I right? So let us not try that. We'll see the 10 questions related to the closed test, really difficult, not easy to comprehend. Shall I read out? So this is a new model. What is this model? You see a blank. After the blank, you see a word. First, you have to decide it is right or wrong. If you think it is right, choose the fifth option and no change required. You feel it is not correct, one of the 4 options. This year's G20 summit in Hamburg, please underline the word Hamburg. Where is it? Germany. Promises to be among the more interesting in recent years. For one thing, US President Donald Trump, who treats bilateralism and international cooperation with cherished. Now here, the context is what? Between 2 countries or many countries? Many countries, will you say bilateralism, or the third option, multilateralism? So what is the answer based on that? Bilateralism, not correct. Esteem is not relevant here. Favor is not relevant. Aloofness, not at all relevant. And what is the answer? Many countries are involved, then multilateralism. We'll see this also, then I'll show the meanings of the words. Who treats multilateralism and international cooperation with cherished. Underline the word cherish. Cherish means to enjoy a lot. I cherish my childhood. Means what? Whenever I think my childhood, I feel very happy. Cherish. You think of something and you feel very happy or you enjoy a lot. Cherished sympathy. But generally, you know, Donald Trump, what sort of a character, what sort of a personality? A little eccentric or like a statesman? A little eccentric, not a statesman kind of a person. So the word sympathy doesn't go with that person's attitude or his outlook. You cannot consider the word sympathy. What are the options? You have to. Impassivity. Passive, impassivity. It's a negative word. Regard. Flattery. Flattery means what? You praise someone, but not sincere. You want some work and you praise that person. You're the best guy, you're the best this, that, and you know what exactly you mean. Disdain. Disdain means you consider someone or something inferior, not worth respecting. So generally, the superpower, what is the superpower today? The US. In the past, we had a bipolar world. Bi means 2. There were 2 superpowers during the Cold War time. One Russia, the USSR, the other the USA. But now USSR is not there. Now the present world is called unipolar world. There is only one superpower. Which one is that? The USA. And obviously they have a different attitude. They look at other countries and others from a different platform. They always try to look down. And disdain, they think others are not worth respecting, others are not worth considering. So based on that, what is the answer? The 4th option, disdain. Cherished disdain will be attending for the first time. Who treats multilateralism and international cooperation with cherished disdain. This is not easy. See, I feel this has been taken from The Economist magazine. The sentences, the words, not the regular Indian context. Usually, today if you take the Hindu paper, the words are rather easy, Hindu editorials. You take the Economist magazine, you read one article, then it's so difficult to understand. The words are not the regular words. One of the reasons Economist articles are written for Native Americans and Britishers who are highly qualified. Intellectuals in the US, intellectuals in the UK. They all know English. They are very good at English. And they have to maintain very high standards. That is the reason why today, for the last 4 or 5 years, SBI has been taking articles from the Economist magazine and giving as passages. Because those sentences, we use one expression, the sentences in this particular magazine, we say they are usually convoluted. Convoluted means twisted. They are not straight. You know the word twisted, convoluted. and so difficult to understand. And the vocabulary, you don't come across in our country those words. They go with Western Hemisphere. Familiar words to those people, unfamiliar to us. So obviously in the exam, you read an article where the sentences are convoluted or twisted, the words are not familiar, you cannot answer the questions. That is the intention of SBI. Usually people say SBI papers are tough. From which angle? English. That English is different. And how is it different? What is the source? Last 4 or 5 years, the source for SBI, the Economist magazine, and once or twice they used the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times. And I remember once they used the publications of the World Bank. You know, World Bank, IMF, they have their own publications. They take the text from those publications and they give as a passage or for closed test. That is not easy. All youngsters, how many of you have read the Economist magazine? Raise your hands. Natural. So it is not easy to understand. That is the intention. Imagine if they give a passage or editorial from the Hindu paper across the country, I'm damn sure at least 50,000 candidates of 40 lakh, 30 lakh or 40 lakh candidates appear every year for bank exams. I'm damn sure 50,000, they read the Hindu editorials every day religiously as a ritual. And imagine SBI takes an editorial from the Hindu paper, gives as a passage. What will happen? 50,000 will get 10 out of 10 from the passage. Then they cannot eliminate. As simple as that. And they take from the Economic Times, they give the closed test, 10 out of 10. Then 20 already out of 20. And remaining 10 grammar based, they get 25 plus. And 50,000 candidates will get 25 plus. How many posts are there? SBI PO, how many? 2,000. They have to pull the hair. Very simple. They will not know what to do. So they deliberately take articles from magazines which the youngsters of this country are not aware of. The youngsters of this country don't have access to, and they don't read. Then what happens? They read those articles they see for the first time. I remember 2017, they gave a passage from the Economist magazine, a 1,200 word passage, all about a recession in the US. Now we are not good at Indian economy. Imagine you have to know something about the US economy, you have to know something about a recession in the US, only then you can read the passage and answer the question. So difficult. Many students, and that particular year, IBPS, RRB, PO, the cutoff was 1.75. Can you imagine? No one could answer the questions. 1.75 was the cutoff. Imagine the standards of the paper. So the point here, if you know this is a source, if you know this is a standard, you act quickly. You grab the source, you read, you reach those standards, you are ready for the exam. You get selected. Very simple. Shall I continue? Please write the meaning of the word esteem. Esteem means what? Respect and admiration. Write one combination. Please write self-esteem. Before esteem, write the word. You all should have good self-esteem. That is very important. Self-esteem means respecting oneself, a positive image about oneself. When you think about yourself, you should have a positive image. That means you have good, healthy self-esteem. That is very important in one's life. Okay. Now, aloofness. What is the meaning of the word aloofness? Not friendly or forthcoming. Aloof means isolated, cool and distant, but it has a negative connotation. Aloof means isolated, separated, not mingling, not mixing with others. Aloof. She always stays aloof. Means what? She keeps away from others. She doesn't mingle with others. Impassivity, not feeling or showing emotion. Already I've got a word, no emotions, no feelings, many a time. What is the word? Callousness. Write the word callous. And everyday English, we also use the word stony, like a stone. No feelings, no emotions. Flattery, excessive and insincere praise. The key word here, insincere, not sincere. Given especially to further one's own interest. You want some work, you praise that person, get the work done. Flattery. Flattery is always dangerous. But human weakness, we all fall for flattery. That is a problem. Who doesn't like when someone says, you're very great, you're this, you're that? Will you refuse that? You'll be very happy to accept. That is human nature. Have you copied? This is the word we have chosen. So what is the meaning of that word? Disdain. The feeling that someone or something is unworthy of one's consideration or respect. The feeling that someone or something is unworthy of one's consideration or respect. Have you copied? No, some students are still writing. Shall I change? Yes. Now, what is the blank number? We have done 2, 11, 12, 13. Trump comes to Hamburg having already walked out of one of the key commitments from last year's summit to join the Paris Climate Agreement as soon as possible. And he will not have much enthusiasm. Hold that one. What are the options here? Impassiveness, distance, insouciance, I think that is the correct pronunciation, callousness. But here, what is I'll read out the entire sentence, then we'll try to find out. And he will not have much enthusiasm for these meetings, habitual exhortation to forswear protectionism or provide greater assistance to refugees. It's a very complicated sentence. But do you feel he will not have much enthusiasm? Because the previous sentence talks about his cherished disdain. Then will he have enthusiasm or he will not have enthusiasm? So what is your answer for this? No correction, no change required. So please make a note. Answer is the 5th option, no correction required. Please write the meanings of these words. Insouciance, I'm sure, I feel that is a pronunciation, not a regular word. Insouciance means casual lack of concern or indifference. Insouciance, never heard of that, not a regular word. Casual lack of concern or indifference, that is callousness, being stony. Callousness, insensitive, and cruel disregard for others. But we don't use the word cruel, that is not the right word. No emotions towards others' sufferings, callous. Shall I change? Right. Now, blank number 14. This year's summit promises to be an occasion for raucous street demonstrations. Raucous could be something like loud, protesting in a loud manner, loud, not organized, but just underline the word. Directed against not only Trump, but also Turkey's Recep Tayyip Erdogan, I have never heard of this person, and Russia's Vladimir Putin, of course. The G20 has its origins in 2 ideas. One, peripheral and important. First, you underline the word important. Can you use the word peripheral in this context? Do they go together? So mark it wrong. You have to select one of the. Unresponsiveness, no. Relevant, that's a positive word, hold that one. Detachment, negative. Emotionlessness, negative. So what is the answer here? Relevant. One relevant and important, the other false and distracting. So 2 words positive, 2 words negative. The relevant and important idea is that developing and emerging market economies such as Brazil, India, Indonesia, South Africa and China have become too significant to be excluded from discussions about global governance. While the G7 has not been replaced, its last summit was held in May. In Sicily, G20 meetings are an occasion to expand and broaden the tripling. What is the meaning of the word tripling? Triple means a small fight, not a significant fight, a small fight. I'll show the meaning, please hold. But do you think that is the right word? Dialogue, hold that one. Broaden the dialogue, seems right, hold that one. Broaden the immaterial, not correct. Broaden the extraneous, not relevant. Tangential, not relevant. So what is the answer here? The dialogue, broaden the dialogue. Okay. Now write the meanings of these words. First you write tripling, unimportant or trivial, very small. You all know the meaning of the word trivial. Trivial fight, trivial issue, triples. Extraneous, irrelevant or unrelated to the subject being dealt with. Another meaning of external origin. Extraneous means external. Another meaning unrelated, not related. Tangential, diverging from a previous course or line. Another meaning erratic, erratic. Have you written? Yes? What is the blank number? Is it 16? The G20 was created in 1999 in the wake of the Asian financial crisis. Developed countries initially treated it as an outreach forum. Underline the word outreach. Usually it goes with NGOs, reaching a lot of downtrodden people. Not the regular lot, downtrodden, underprivileged people, where they would help developing economies raise financial and monetary management to the developed world's standards. Now, does it seem right or wrong? Now, hold that one. Treated it as an unrelated forum. No, not correct. Inapplicable, both mean the same. Inapt, that also means the same, not appropriate. Trivial, not trivial. So what is the answer here? Fifth option, no correction required. Please write the meaning of outreach. The extent or length of reaching out, usually people reaching out. And what sort of people? Downtrodden, underprivileged, backward sections. Reaching out people, underprivileged people. Trivial, of little value or importance. Have you written? Yes? Now what is the blank number? 17. Over time, developing countries found their own voice and have played a larger role in derelict. That is not relevant here. Derelict, not in a good condition. I'll show the meaning later. The group's agenda. So, what is the first option? Inapposite. That's also not relevant. Unimportant. Negligible. Crafting. Now, here underline the group's agenda and have played a larger role if you take the fourth option, what is it? A larger role in crafting the group's agenda. Does it sound right? So what is the answer based on that? The fourth option is the answer. Perfect. Crafting the group's agenda. Now write the meaning of apposite. Opposite, you all know the word. Here what is the word? Apposite. Means apt. Apt means appropriate. Apt in the circumstances or in relation to something. Apt means appropriate. Apt in the circumstances or in relation to something. Other words are easy words. In any case, the 2008 global financial crisis emanate means what? In this context, emerging from the United States and the subsequent Eurozone debacle, underline the word debacle. Debacle means failure, made a tumbledown. Tumbledown is not relevant here. It goes with a project, a building, and what are the options? Derelict, not appropriate. Insignificant, no. Superficial, no. Mockery of the idea. Mockery means what? To ridicule. Write the meaning, or I'll show the meaning. Mockery means make mockery of something, ridicule something. So what is the answer based on that? The fourth option is the answer. Made a mockery of the idea that developed countries had much useful knowledge to impart on these matters. Now write the meanings of, please write the meaning of tumble down. As I said, it goes with a building, a structure, collapse, falling or fallen into ruin, dilapidated, very bad condition. That is an important word. They have given many a time, bank exams, dilapidated. That also goes with buildings or constructions. As I said, derelict also goes with buildings and structures in a very poor condition as a result of disuse and neglect. Have you written the meaning of tumble down? Mockery, teasing and contemptuous language or behavior directed at a particular person or thing. Simply you could write ridicule. Mockery means what? A ridicule. Papers. Those who don't have the papers or the handouts, please raise your hands. He is going to give the handouts. Please raise your hands. Mockery means what? Ridicule. Make fun of someone or something. No, have no problem, please. Please have, no problem. No, water and all, you don't have to take my permission. Yawning I don't like, but you can have water, you can relax, that is not a problem. But yawning deliberately on my face, not acceptable. So, right, we'll move on to the next one. What is the next one? Now it is getting on to our nerves. Is it blank number 19? The second less useful idea underpinning the G20 is that solving the pressing problems of the world economy requires ever more intense cooperation. Ever more intense cooperation. Do you think intense cooperation, it sounds right? Hold that one. Dilapidated, it goes with buildings, not correct. Tumble down goes with buildings, not correct. Ramshackle, that is also related to buildings and structures, not relevant. Above board. Above board is a very good expression. It means honest and sincere. It goes with officers, but not relevant here. So what is the answer? 19. No correction required. More intense cooperation. So write the meanings of these words. First you write dilapidated, of a building or object in a state of disrepair or ruin, as a result of age or neglect. Very old buildings, they are not in a good shape. Then we use the word dilapidated. Ramshackle, especially of a house or vehicle, in a state of severe disrepair. That is also bad condition. This is an important one. Please put a star mark. An important and a useful one. Above board, legitimate, honest, and open. Have you written? Shall we see the last blank? Are you still writing? Yes. Okay. So what is the last one? The analogy frequently invoked is that the world economy is a global commons. Either all countries do their share to contribute to its upkeep, or they will all suffer the causes. Suffer the causes. We'll see the options. Suffer the reasons. No. Suffer the consequences. That seems right. Derelict, not relevant. Dilapidation, not relevant. So what is the answer here? Suffer the consequences. Face the consequences. Both you could. So how do you find this? Very difficult. To explain properly only this closed test, one has to spend at least an hour. Minimum I'm talking about. We have to discuss the background information. We have to tell the students the context and create the contextual awareness. Then we have to talk about the language related aspects. Why this one, why that one, what are the combinations. And if I have to do all that only for closed test, it takes about an hour. Now I think it has taken about half an hour, more than half an hour. Time is already 3 o'clock. How many questions have we done? Only 20. 20 or 20, that's it. Now the passage is a very complicated passage within the stipulated time period. One thing you cannot read and understand. After the test also, imagine you are very passionate about reading the passage. You try to read, still you don't understand. Very simple. A passage, this passage, very difficult. It goes in a zigzag manner and we cannot guess what exactly the writer wants to convey. He talks about modernity, he talks about who is that lady? Radha Ma or Radha May? Radha Ma. I think once she was very popular. Now she is not in the limelight. Has she been arrested? No idea. But she is not in the limelight. Once she was so popular, very popular. So the passage is all about philosophy, values, modernity, and the so-called God men and God women. It's all about that. Now we'll see the questions. Shall we see question number 21? What is it? According to the passage, what would be the title of it? Spirituality, Bollywood style. Generally this passage is very complicated. Any passage, sometimes you get the title immediately. One reading, you know the title. Some passages you don't get one reading, 2 readings. Then my suggestion, always try to depend on the introduction or the concluding paragraph, conclusion. You get, based on that, you can decide the last paragraph talks about what? Talks about the Bollywood style, talks about spirituality, talks about Radha Ma, all these in the last paragraph. So hold the first option, a new God woman. No doubt it talks about a God woman, but not all about that. The writer also talks about modernity. The writer also talks about the values and so many aspects. Self-proclaimed goddess. This also exclusively related to that lady. Ostentation of spirituality. Ostentation means show off. I'm going to show the meanings, the words are there, and none of these. But here, the last paragraph talks about the Bollywood style, all that. Based on that, how many of you have chosen the first option? Spirituality. That is the answer. Spirituality, Bollywood style. But you cannot decide within 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Not possible. Now, question number 22. Why author thinks that people have assumed erroneously that they know what modernity is? This is also very difficult. So, what is the answer you have chosen? How many of you have chosen the second option? Because confusing its present character with what we wish it to be. That is the answer. So, please make a note. This passage I cannot explain. I cannot show where exactly the answers are. I will tell the options, please make a note, that's it. But we'll spend time on the words based on the context. Now, question number 23. Go to question number 23. Which are some of the questions based on common sense? Which of the following statement is or are correct according to the passage? How many of you have chosen the second option? Is it question number 23? Or how many of you have chosen the first and second? Correct? First and second. That means what is the answer based on that? Because options are there. Third option, what does it say? Only A and B. That is the answer. Which of the following statements is or are wrong according to the passage? None of these. I'm not quite sure, frankly speaking. I haven't spent a lot of time on this passage. So those who have read, are you convinced? The answer is the fifth option. Fine. Question number 25. Why people are always confused when mothers don't conform, underline the word, means what? Follow to our perception, stick to, adhere to. This is based on common sense. What is the second option? Because we are particularly hostile when women in public exhibit the kind of mannerisms we assume only men are entitled to. So, answer is what? The second option. This is based on common sense. Generally, people don't accept. There is one term, please write the expression. Some of you must be knowing this. Please write. Tomboy. Some girls behave like boys. Daring and dashing, they don't care anyone, they don't care anything. And typical behavior, people say you behave like a boy quite often. Then what is the word for those girls? Tomboy, tomboyish. And people don't approve. Young girls, people appreciate and they may say, no, not advisable. But imagine a lady, a woman, behaves like a man, the society doesn't appreciate. And people don't accept. That is pure, sheer common sense. So, answer is the second option. Now, the meanings, all these words, I don't know from where they have collected a lot of words, not everyday English, not regular words. So, 26 and 27 opposite in meaning. What is the given word? Ostentatious. It means show off. And here flamboyancy means the same. No, I'll show the meanings. Flamboyancy, show off. Unpretentious, opposite. Pretentious, opposite. Unpretentious means simple, straightforward, what you are. Charade, that is also show off. Aureate, that is also show off, more or less. So, what is the answer opposite of show off? It is the second option. Now, write the meanings of. First, you write ostentatious. Characterized by pretentious or showy display, designed to impress. Underline the expression showy display, show off. Flamboyancy, the tendency to attract attention because of one's exuberance, confidence and stylishness. There is also nothing but show off. And in the past, the media, when they would talk about Vijay Malaya, they would use this word, flamboyancy. It would go with Vijay Malaya. Have you written the meaning of flamboyancy? So unpretentious means what? Modest, unassuming, not showing off. Charade, an absurd pretense intended to create a pleasant or respectable appearance. That is also show off. Aureate has two different meanings. One, made of or having the color of gold. Another, in this context, goes with the context, pretentious. We have to find a way to save time. No, I'm serious about it. We have been thinking for so long. Shall I move on to the next one? So what is the next word? Gullible. Gullible means what? Innocent, and you can easily cheat that person. A person who believes and trusts someone easily. Exploitable, same meaning. Susceptible, more or less the same. Unwary, more or less the same. Sophisticated. So what is the answer here? The fourth option, sophisticated. It has got two different meanings. Please write one meaning here. Gullible, innocent, can be exploited easily. What is opposite? Sophisticated means what? Clever, wise, intelligent. But the second meaning of sophisticated, please write. Don't take the literal meaning. Polished means very stylish in behavior, in appearance. Polished, also write the word urbane. Urban, rural, different words. But here what is the word? Urbane. Urbane also means polished or sophisticated. If you take the top class of a society, they look sophisticated. They behave in a sophisticated manner. For them, we also use the word urbane. Shall I move on to the last three questions? Here, what does the writer, what do they want? Similar in meaning. Disconcerting. I'll show the meanings later. It means not comfortable because of your position. So based on that, embolden. Don't write. Embolden means give someone the courage or strength. Make someone bold. So not correct. Encourage. Not correct. Embarrassing. That is a little uncomfortable. So hold that one. Entourage. It means what? If a minister goes, you see a lot of vehicles and a lot of people, security. The whole team is called entourage. Not relevant here. So what is the answer based on that? The third option. Aplomb. Aplomb means poised. No, I'll show. Poised, calm, composed, cool. So what is the first one? Composure. Seems the right one. Agitation, opposite. Perturbation. Perturbed means disturbed. So opposite. Disapproval, negative. So what is the answer here? The first option, composure. Incorporate. You all must be knowing this. What is the answer? Entangle. No, entangle means to get into something. Usually entangled. A lot of wires, a lot of things, and something gets into that. Then we use the expression, it got entangled in the net. It got entangled in something. Segregate means separate. Not relevant here. Differentiate. You separate, differentiate, one and the same. Integrate. So what is the meaning of the word incorporate? Integrate. What is the answer here? Entangle, segregate. Entangle means to get twisted, segregate, separate. But I would like to stop here. Before Sudhir sir comes, please make a note or just take a pic. He is already there.